If someone lands on your homepage and can't answer these 3 questions in a few seconds, you are paying for traffic just to confuse people. So question 1, what do you sell? Question 2, who is it for? And question 3, what do I need to do next? That's the whole 3-second rule. And it's not just a nice idea. People form first impressions of a website's visual appeal extremely fast, even in the first half split second that they land on your site. Like it's a very instant thing. So we're talking about 3 seconds, but the impression overall happens way before that. Hey, I'm Christian Pignon, one of the co-founders here at BitBranding. We specialize in helping clothing brands scale online, and we've helped over 700 clothing brands. I would appreciate if you like and subscribe so you don't miss any of our latest content. Now let me teach you the simplest hero section framework that you can use before we start this roast. So I have a few brands in here that we're going to go through, and I'm going to give you exactly what they're doing wrong and how we can maybe improve it. Now, this is what I call the one breath hero. In one breath, your hero should say, "This is what we sell, this is why it's better, and this is what you do next." And here's the format: headline, what you sell, who is it for; subheadline, the differentiator, like it needs to be something in plain English, and then the proof, something that reduces doubt. And lastly, that call to action. 1, at most 2 call to actions. You have your primary call to action, maybe you have a secondary call to action, and that's it. Those are the elements of what makes a good hero section. Now, I think a lot of people think about the hero section as just that image banner, but it could be the whole hero section. A lot of times we think about it as almost like above the fold. Like above the fold, are you answering these questions? So yeah, it could be that you have a promotion going on and you want to use that hero section as a promotion. I think that's fair, but are you still answering, some of these questions in there? That's what we really want to find out. Think of your hero like the host of a restaurant, right? A bad host will say, "Welcome, we have food." A great host says, "2 people, perfect, right this way. Here's today's best specials. Do you want sparkling or still water?" Right? Like that's what your hero needs to do. And I want to tell you, towards the end of the video, I just want to briefly show you if I were to, do this on like the Horizon theme, just how to kind of put together the hero image. And if you're using maybe some other themes, just some kind of things to consider when you're creating this section in particular. So definitely check that out at the end of the video. But for now, let's audit. Let's audit. Just it's gonna be quick, but just kind of going through some popular websites and some, again, trying to get them all to be clothing brands in here. So first off, we're gonna do Skims, and Skims is doing again with some of these big brands, it's kind of hard to even do this properly, because a lot of times they have sales going on, or they have new arrivals, and they're just sometimes very vague, and I don't know why they're so vague. And to be honest, like it could be the fact that they're so well known that like they don't have to necessarily spill it out right here within the hero. I do believe like Skims, if you scroll down here towards the bottom, they do showcase at least that sentence, right? That kind of gives you like who they are, and it's all the way to the bottom of the website, but at least they're doing that. There's some brands that they don't even do that. They just kind of give you the product and that's it, and then call it a day. But as far as the hero section overall, one of the things that we talk about a lot in terms of hero banners is contrast, and this is horrible in terms of contrast. White on white is just like a huge no-no. Not even for like, for us, like we can probably see this very, very clearly and okay. I won't say very clear. I would say we can see it okay. But people with disabilities and color blindness, like this is just absolutely horrendous. Like this needs to be something completely different than what it is. One of the things that we also recommend is to have a model wearing the actual clothing, which at least they're doing that. And then they have a call to action, they have a headline, and then they have a sub headline in here. Your best dressed year yet, shop 50% off. They're saying the exact same thing. I would definitely not do that. New styles added to sale before it's too late. What kind of styles? What kind of products are we talking about here? I can kind of get an idea, right? But you also sell a lot of things. You just sell clothing, underwear, shapewear. You have men's, you have women's. So it just, yeah, call to action at least is a single call to action, which is great. I tend to recommend against just having a single underline, link as a call to action. I would like to have a proper button that looks, big. The whole image is clickable, which is great. But I think in terms of the copy here, it needs to change a little bit. I want to know, what type of styles it is that are on this 50% off sale. Just gonna give me a glimpse, right? You could say and more, right? But just kind of give me a glimpse of what I'm going to see. And if it's a lot of different styles, then this image needs to change to not just be a singular person wearing maybe 2-3 items, but maybe multiple models, multiple images, some kind of collage, just showcasing all the types of styles. I think that we can kind of fill in the blanks, right? Overall, and at a glance, we can kind of tell what this is, who this is for, and what type of products I'm going to see. And another thing is like, sometimes you can get away with, for example, if it's just loungewear or maybe it's just shapewear, like that could be the call to action, right? Instead of being super in your face with the headline of like up to 50% off, shapewear, like you could have the call to action be shop shapewear, and that kind of gives us an impression that that's exactly the type of styles that are going to be on this 50% off sale. All right, next up we have Quince. Quince has a much smaller hero banner here. They're highlighting one of their collections, which is styled by Erin Walsh, a Wear Now capsule curated by fashion and celebrity stylist Erin Walsh, which is it's great. I think that the headline is good. You kind of get the impression that maybe this Erin Walsh is someone important. They kind of give that information to you in that sub headline there of like she's a fashion and celebrity stylist, which is okay. It's great. But at the same time, like, yeah, I wanna know what type of styles are we talking about, right? And I think that's where the imagery comes in, right? They could be a little bit vague with their headline, sub-headline, but then they're doing a good job of showcasing some of the products that we're gonna see within this collection. So you get the full picture, right? You know exactly who this is for. You have a big call to action button here. You have imagery left and right. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Like you have, a few products being showcased, not just one product. It looks nice. It seems like it's on brand with the rest of the site. And this is what I'm talking about. Like we can still see a little bit more of what they offer right at a glance, because they're kind of giving us a peek of maybe some of their top collections: cashmere, sweaters, pants, tops, skirts, jewelry, men, all highlighted right underneath, which in essence is still part of this hero section. They're not taking the full screen to shout that, hey, we have an Erin Walsh collection. They're also they're minimizing that a little bit, and they're showcasing like, hey, we also have all these products available to you. Which I think this is just a great example of a hero banner. It's also a great example of the sizing of the hero banner, where it doesn't need to cover the entire screen. You can strategically use it in order to incorporate some additional information. All right, next up we have Faherty. I think that's how you say it. Faherty? Faherty, maybe Faherty. They are doing a big promo. So it's kind of interesting. A lot of these brands are doing a big promo starting of the year. A lot of them claiming that it's a semi-annual, sale. We'll see. I think they do more than 2 sales a year. But yeah, again, very basic. Not a whole lot of information, right, about who this is for, the why. Image-wise, we just kind of have a picture of a couple people surfing, which, I mean, maybe it gives us the the coastal vibes. Maybe this is for active surfers. I don't think so. So yeah, I think the image overall it's off. I think again, having the sale is good. I think announcing it like this is good. But I would want to visually see more information here. Having 2 call to action buttons, I think it's great. They kind of split it up between men's and women's. But again, just like Quince, they have a smaller hero section where it allows them to kind of for you to take a peek at some of the products. Because this section down here is not a new arrivals, it's not a bestsellers, is best of sale, which I would maybe tweak that headline to say best of our semi-annual sale to really bring it in. Because at a glance, it could see like maybe this is best sellers. But when you start scrolling just a little bit, you see that all these have say 40% off, say 50% off, etc. So then you kind of like, okay, this is all part of the sale. We're kind of doing a whole sale throughout the whole website, and it's changing the way that the homepage looks. And then they split it up between men's and women's, which again is smart because they've done the same thing within that hero banner. So could they get away with the picture of the ocean? Maybe. It may look a little bit less busy, right, than trying to include a bunch of images with models wearing them and then doing the exact same thing just right down below. So maybe it's a nice little, palette cleanser, if you will. Now, I think within the copy, again, I would try to go just a little bit deeper into not just styles. I think the other brand, Skims, did the exact same thing. They just talk about styles. I think just being a little bit more descriptive about the types of styles that we're seeing here, it's going to be beneficial for the customers. And I mean, some people could say like, yeah, a lot of people have banner blind. Like if they see 30% off sale, like that's all they care about. But again, just being extra clear on who this is for and what this is for, like what this is going to be important. But again, it's like it's one of those where, yeah, this is a B. This is maybe a C plus, B minus, right? It's like it's good, but if we go back to basics, if we go back to what is the best types of hero banners, this does an okay job. But I think visually it could definitely be more interesting, and it could say I think a lot more. Next up, we have Pink Lily. Pink Lily throws multiple messages at once. They have a sale, and they have I think a collection that's also dropping. It's not great. I always talk about brands that do these big slideshows. It's not best practice. If you do have multiple things that you want to talk about during this section, like just put another big banner after you showcase products and different things. But you should always just have that one thing that you want them, like that one hero, that one job, that one call to action, sometimes two, right, depending on the brand. But yeah, having both of these at the same time running, it's not a good idea. Attention spans nowadays are very, very slim. You're lucky enough to even make it this far in this video, and if you have, please hit that like button. I appreciate that. Now, both of these, I think, are doing an okay job. I think, again, when it comes to big sales, I think a lot of people tend to be very vague. They just focus on the 70% off. But I think it's important to showcase some of the what maybe you would consider best sellers within this sale, right? Or maybe some of the most sought after items within this sale. And again, there's the word styles, right? Over 600 styles. So just being a little bit more visual with this in terms of showcasing some products, I think it's going to be important and good for these brands. And I think when it comes to these other ones, this Blue Horizon collection, they're combining still another offer here with 35% off, which is okay. But then, there's no definition, there's no headline or text that kind of tells me what this collection is all about. I can kind of get an idea, maybe some along the lines of like, the soft pastels, maybe, maybe is it all sweater? It could be all sweaters. I don't know. It kind of seems like it's all sweaters, maybe. But having that sub headline right underneath that says, pastel sweaters for March, I don't know, or for Easter, like something that encapsulates what this is in a written format is going to be really good. I love the idea of coming up with names to sort of like marketing names, right, for your collections, like that Blue Horizon collection, which is cool, but at the same time, it just doesn't tell us much about the products that we're going to find in here. The images are really doing a lot of the legwork in here in terms of what the customer is going to find when we click on it. Let me just click on it, and I'm super curious. It's just blue clothing. Maybe I should have known from the name. But then all they're sharing there is, this is not all blue clothing either. There's some pink skirts in here. Yeah, I'm confused. Sorry, Pink Lily. All right, next up we have Little Rad Things. So Little Rad Things, really good in terms of showcasing social proof. So we have 116,000 shirts sold and counting. That's amazing. Raise good humans, do it in style for parents raising confident kind, Rad Kids, limited drop, premium essentials, shop $20 graphics now. Like, copy-wise, this is amazing. This is excellent. Again, white on white. We definitely need to see more contrast within this image. And again, if it's more, this answers all of our questions, right? In terms of who this is for, what we have in here, in terms of product, right? We're talking about shirts, and then you're talking about graphics. But we definitely need to see, like, visually, just again, seeing a little more variety of the products that we're going to see. I think will be good. And again, that contrast just needs to be there. And as you can see, like, yeah, there's nothing wrong with having a taller, bigger hero section like this one. But I would say, yeah, utilize the space better, because there's just a lot of blank space. And I think it could be used, I think, more strategically. Even the text size could even increase a bit more. We kind of go back to Pink Lilies, and Pink Lilies is just like, it's just so easy to read, is big, but they're, as you can see, they're utilizing the space a lot better. Versus this just kind of looks like, yeah, middle, and then we have a little message here to the side. So even moving the subject, or multiple subjects, if we're going to have multiple styles, right? Moving them to using the rule of thirds, right? You put it in that second column, and then you put in the text and moving it a little bit bigger, almost like a half and half of the image. I think would be good. Next up, we have Elevated Faith. Elevated Faith is it's actually pretty strong. It says what it sells. It has a mission component of it. It also has a nice, clear call to action button for shop new arrivals, which is it creates a lot of contrast and is great. And they even have a little, not an offer, but like a free shipping plus free gift on orders over 100. So they're doing a really good combo in here. And as you can see, this is also not your traditional big image hero banner. They're actually using a 2-column, and they're using a 4-column right underneath to kind of showcase a few more products. So yeah, I mean, with Elevated, I don't have a whole lot of notes in here in terms of how to do it or do it differently. I mean, they're talking about Christian apparel, jewelry, and more, and they're literally showing you apparel, jewelry, and more with the iPhone case. The fact that they give a portion to every, like, if you don't know anything about Elevated Faith and you land here, you will know. Like, you know exactly what they do, who they are, who this is for, the type of products that they sell, and you don't even have to scroll. Like, you can see it all within this snapshot. So Elevated Faith is doing an excellent job. And then on top of that, something else that they're doing is they're giving us a little bit of social proof. And again, it's not in the banner, right? It's just above it. We have that black bar that says 80,000 plus 5-star reviews, which is, again, just amazing. They're combining all these elements in a way that just makes a lot of sense. It's something that, again, this may be something that doesn't stay here, right, for the entirety of the year, because we definitely want to rotate this and go throughout the year showcasing different things. But this may be something that I may rework a little bit and keep it somewhere here within your homepage, so it's super easy to understand and know who they are. So if they ever have a sale going on or a new collection dropping and they want to switch this out, I would figure out a way to rework this section to still keep it within the homepage, because I think this is just really well done. Okay, next up we have Seager, and right now they have a new collab, and that's really what we have here within this hero section. This hero section is using a video, which we typically try to shy against using video. It's not bad to use video. You just have to watch out, right, for your speed and your performance on your website. Just make sure that it's not dropping dramatically with this video. And as you can see, it's a very fast-paced video. It's a very short video, just kind of showcasing. And really, like, they're doing a very minimal job here of describing what this is, right? It's just like the Seager times Justin boots, 3 boots, 3 ways to ride, and then within the actual video, they're showcasing you the guy on the horse, the guy on the car, and the guy who's walking. So it's a little bit, you have to stay here long enough to kind of get it. You have to read it and then watch the video, and then it's like, oh, okay. So it's not as as maybe explicit as they think maybe they're wanting to be, but again, this is one of those where they're not using the full screen. They're kind of giving you a little peek. Maybe I would like maybe a little bit more, so you can kind of see the 3 boots right there from the get-go. And I think that gives you also a better idea, right, of these 3 ways of wearing it. Again, I'm not against videos. I think video is a great format to showcase quickly, what the product actually is. But I do think on the description side, they could be a little bit better of describing, what the boots are and what are the 3 ways of riding it, or etc. But yeah, again, not horrible, but I think that sub headline is what probably needs a little bit more work. And if there's an opportunity to, then showcase these products maybe just a tad bit higher. And I know this is kind of maybe going away from the hero, but yeah, I think at a glance, right, looking at the video, you kind of get who this is for. But again, I think that headline and that sub headline could use a little bit more work of explaining, who this is for. But again, the video is answering that question a little bit. But again, we want to try to be explicit within it. All right, next up we have Judith March, and they have a new collection, so the Beach 2026, and they just have a Shop Now button there. Full screen, clickable. A couple things here, and things that we talked about on some of the other ones. We definitely want to have models wearing these items. I think the collage of multiple things could be good, but a lot of times, I don't even know what I'm looking at, right? There's so many things in here. I see some hats, maybe a t-shirt. No, not a t-shirt. See, I don't know, maybe it's a long sleeve with a hood, maybe. Maybe some towels, I don't know. So having even if you don't use models, having it just organized a little bit better. And then again, it's missing a sub headline. Even the word Beach 2026, it's okay. I think it falls back to Pink Lily Will. Yeah, they have a name of a collection. Same with even Seager, we just watched it. They have the name of the collection, but just being a little bit more explicit on what this is and who this is for would be very, very good. I think too many people are trying to be too minimalistic, I think, when it comes to their hero banners. And then the other thing is contrast. I mean, again, this falls into the white on white dilemma here with almost no contrast. The buttons almost, you can't even see it. So customers are kind of look at this as okay, this is a random picture. Let's kind of keep scrolling here. So yeah, that just needs some reworking. So it's just very legible and just clear to fully see. Now, before we jump into the Horizon theme build, I want you to comment below, what is the most confusing hero that you've seen so far today? Out of all the ones that we showcased, what was the one that you left you kind of huh? what is it that they do? Because to me, I've seen these websites day in, day out all the time, but for you, this may have been the very first time that you've seen some of these. So I really want to know which one was the most confusing for you. Now let's teach some implementation and how to build a good hero section within the Horizon. And I'm going to show you also, again, just a couple of tidbits on what to look out for when it comes to hero section. So first off, a lot of these themes by default, when you install them, they will have a hero section towards the top, one way or another. And just know that because they have that hero section, doesn't mean that you have to necessarily use that. But this one actually is called hero. The other thing is some themes don't call it hero. Some of them call them just image with text, or banner image, or sometimes even slideshow. And we'll talk about slideshow here in a second. But just because they have that one doesn't mean that that's the only option for hero. So for example, this one allows you to do actually 2 different images. It allows us to do a different type of image for mobile, which is something that I would highly, highly recommend. We didn't look at any of the mobile versions of any of those banners, but if your hero section doesn't include an option to do a mobile image, I would get out of there. Don't use that. Use something else. And what I will say, if your theme doesn't have it available, click on Add Section, and when you click Generate, you can actually prompt a new hero section block that has the ability, and that's how you prompt it. You just type it in, I want a hero section with the ability to have a desktop image and a mobile image. And then it will give you the option to do that. By default, again, Horizon theme has this built in. So we have our hero, we have the ability to do the image, we have the ability to do the mobile image or video as well. So we can do image or video right within this hero section. Let me look back at, okay, so as you can see, like we have a hero marquee, which is another option, which is just the text kind of scrolling along, which I probably maybe wouldn't recommend for the top line hero section. And then it looks like we have a hero bottom aligned, just all the text and everything here towards the bottom, which I feel like we should be able to do here. And then these other ones are going to be, yeah, slideshow full frame, split showcased, a layered slideshow, just a large logo. And again, with slideshows, maybe your theme has a slideshow, right, as the hero section. That's fine. Again, the recommendation here would be keep it to one slide. So you could technically, we could use this section and all we're doing is just deleting that second slide and just using a singular slide. This will act as a hero banner, which it won't move, it won't slide around, but you still have some of the same options. You see like headline, text, button, all built in within here. The other thing that I would say about building this, and as you can see, it's very straightforward. By default, this kind of already has what we consider best practices. It has the text up here, which is a headline. It has the supporting sub-headline text, and then it has a button right underneath it. What I will say too about this and the way that you organize it, especially when it comes to things like mobile, and the reason why we say mobile is so important to have a different image is because on mobile, that image is going to get cropped. So it's going to be very important to completely rearrange that graphic, right? When we think about something like, for example, this pink lily, let me see if I do this. Yeah, so you can see like this is a completely different image where they have completely rearranged the elements. Same with the Blue Horizon collection. They completely rearranged the elements to make it fit into that mobile version of it. So that's going to be very, very important to do on mobile devices. And with, for example, for that example of Pink Lily, where they're using the full thing is a graphic, right? They're not using this this headline, or they're using these buttons or these elements. They essentially, what they've done is they've gotten rid of all those elements, and they have the whole banner with baked in text, with baked in buttons. And that's a really good, easy way to make this responsive and make it fit exactly how you want it. Because when you're dealing with these elements of text, headline, and buttons that are kind of floating on top of your image, you may run into that issue right there where all your elements are essentially blocking everything that's important about the image that you wanted to showcase, especially here on mobile. And if we look at some of the options, right, that Horizon gives us, they don't really differentiate between, on the layout options, right, differentiate between mobile and desktop. So now if we click bottom on the elements of this hero on the mobile view, that means that on the desktop view is also going to push it here towards the bottom of the hero section. So you're somewhat limited, right, on what the theme actually gives you in terms of the layout of it. Sure, they give you this stack media, which actually that's not even the, but I will say I've seen some themes where it allows you to showcase the image and then showcase the text and everything right underneath, which is okay. But when you think about these hero banners, a lot of times creating that graphic from scratch on Canva or Photoshop, uploading that here, and then making the whole banner clickable will probably be the fastest, the easiest, and you will have the most control over it on desktop and mobile. Again, every theme is just slightly different, right? There are some themes that give you full control on mobile, full control on desktop, and you can truly build some really cool things with the actual templated sections. But a lot of times my recommendation would probably be go create something on Canva, make it the mobile version, and then upload them here, make the whole banner clickable. Hold up just one second. I just want to say, if you are a clothing brand owner and you want to jump into the specifics of your brand, how to grow it profitably online, you can schedule a free 45-minute strategy session with us. There are limited spots, so you want to go find a time right now. There's a link in the description below. And here's really the real takeaway. It's your hero section. It's not art. It's a cashier that greets people at the door. If it doesn't guide the next step in those 3 seconds, it's not doing its job. If you want customers coming to your homepage and not feel confused, use this method and guide them through where they need to go next on your website. All right, see you on the next one.